Gabby Mosley said it best. Be careful making heroes out of monsters. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Lawrence Report. Tonight's broadcast discussing episode 7 of NBC Found, Missing While Being Hated. And y'all, we only got one more episode left until we get to the fall break. So many questions that remain unanswered. Who's helping Sir? Is it more than one person? We all saw the episode a couple nights ago. What about Zeke? You know, they cut off all his outside world, according to him, right? But we did see Lacey end up grabbing that phone for him, right? Poor Margaret, completely banned all the way from the police station. Gabi comes to realization that, well, I am pretty much going to have to go to jail, and Lacey's going to have to run the show. But y'all, before we get started, we greatly appreciate you guys to hit that subscribe button, like, and please do not forget to comment. Let's talk about NBC Found. Now, this case right here, this was not the greatest case in my personal opinion. We know it revolves around a shock jock journalist. You know, he's kind of like a Howard Stern type journalist, right? It's a guy by the name of Raj, and we know that he goes missing. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on that case. It was okay, but you know, they found him. Welcome home. You know how it go. But I want to talk about Gabi and everybody else right now. Gabi, I love how they did this right here, right? And I knew this was a dream sequence off the bat. Sir is basically being awarded a key to the city for him helping that previous girl. I'm okay. All of a sudden now he saved one person and now he's a hero, right? And you got Trent right there giving him the key and all that. But again, I knew that was a dream sequence. And I must say this right here. I appreciate young Gabi. Young Gabi, she is such a great actress, right? And we know that Gabi, you know, she's having these flashbacks with young Gabi and her dad. The dad is drunk as a skunk. The dad forgets about the special day when it came to Gabi and her mother, right? And the dad is realizing that, you know what? I do need to get some help, right? And young Gabi is frustrated because now her dad is also getting ready to leave her, right? We got Sir. Oh my God. Sir's outside, you know, looking through the window, seeing young Gabi cry. And it broke my heart watching this as well. We had like a couple heartbreakers in this one right here. Like I said, Margaret, Zeke, young Gabi. But did y'all notice a little passport that Sir had? So it made me wonder, that night, was he thinking about kidnapping Gabi and then traveling to a foreign country? You know, that is currently what was on my mind when I saw that passport sign right there, right? And this right here was absolutely wild that, you know, they ended up pulling a wild card I did not see coming. They had a person from Gabi's past, you know, who basically said that, you know, Gabi and Sir had a more of a consensual type relationship. Like they was more than just teacher and student. And Sir had to come out against it and claim that, you know, him and Gabi, that it was strictly by the books. Like that was my students, nothing more. But yeah, that was a wild card that I did not see coming. I thought that was dope that they added that element to the show right there. And speaking of Gabi, you know, a lot of people still dislike Gabi, and it looks like Ethan dislikes Gabi as well. But I do appreciate Ethan, Don's boyfriend. I appreciate him trying to counsel, you know, trying to help out Margaret, you know, because he was a therapist or whatever. His practice shut down. But I do appreciate them two coming together. But yeah, like I said, everybody's not still on the Gabi train, including Ethan, right? Because he's like, listen, when it comes to a relationship between me and Don, I feel like you be getting in the way. Because instead of going to lunch with me, Don is constantly picking you, Gabi, over me. So now Don's boyfriend feel like he is basically playing second fiddle to Gabi and Don, because, you know, he found out last about the secret as well. So Ethan has been feeling some type of way, you know, and I'm sorry, Ethan, but yeah, you know, Don, you know, Don and Gabi got that type relationship. And speaking of Don, I love how Don and Trent, right, they end up, you know, having this sparring over Gabi and stuff like that. You know, two ride or dies for Gabi, right? And I love the little chase down scene that they had whenever them two was arguing. But I appreciate Don. I really appreciate Don. For me, outside of Zeke, those two guys right there, and of course Gabi, are my favorite characters of the show because he even went up to Sir's brother and was like, listen, if you are working with your brother in any type of form or fashion, it's going to be hell to pay. I'm paraphrasing here, but you know what he said on the episode, and man, Don, man, that's my guy. He is a real one when it comes to looking out, for Gabi. And I must say this right here as well. I kind of felt, I did kind of feel bad for Margaret, right? We saw Margaret last night, well, a couple nights ago. She's completely banned from the police station, period. Like, she can't even sit in the parking lot, right? But thankfully Zeke ended up, pulling up a feed for her at M&A, which I thought was dope on, Zeke's behalf right there, to try to look out for Margaret, because we know how it went down. Margaret was, whenever that feed got cut short, Margaret broke out into tears. She's like, listen, how in the world can we find everybody else, but we cannot find my son? That's what makes me wonder and think about how they're basically, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't be surprised. I said this on my last episode that Margaret is going to join forces with Sir, because we know, of course, again, somebody gave Sir another case file about this case right here. And Zeke, now, whenever Sir tried to help out, right, he sent Zeke a fake email. Zeke was like, you know what? I ain't gonna open it. We do not need you. We do not need you. I'm gonna do this. We as a team right here, we gonna do this. So I thought that was very brave of Zeke, but unfortunately for Zeke, it was bad news on this episode because, he's been basically hacking Trent and them computer system at a police station. And I feel like Sir may have tipped them off in some form or fashion, maybe, right? And we saw in the end, Lacey's like, oh, food's here or something like that. And Zeke looks at the camera. He looks at the camera, and it's one and only Trent saying, yo, Zeke, what are you doing? Zeke is like, listen, we're supposed to be partners. We're supposed to be friends. Like, how you going to do this right here? Of course, it's all about the badge at this point for Trent, right? And they come in, the police come in, they're raiding Zeke's place. And shout out to Lacey for grabbing that cell phone so that he does have a small piece of the outside world. But I felt bad, so bad for Zeke, because, man, he couldn't even breathe. He's like, yo, I'm going to have to go to a hospital. I'm like, dang, Trent, whose side are you on? But again, Trent is still honoring that. He's honoring that badge, basically, right? And that right there is how the episode ends at NBC Found. Great episode. Didn't really care too much about the case, though. We're getting down to nitty gritty. One more episode till the fall break. And then I'm assuming they'll come back maybe January or February, somewhere around there. But we shall see. We shall see. I'm still loving this show. So many twists and turns. Everybody wants to know, who is Sir working with? And as always, thank you for tuning in too. And don't forget, I forgot to mention this. What's going to happen to Gabi? What's going to happen to Gabi? Like, she really about to go to jail? So Lacey going to really lead M&A? As always, thank you for tuning in to the Lawrence Report.